the games happen on Tuesday night, February 16th. Let's get into it. The first game is between the Denver Nuggets and Boston Celtics. Both teams are struggling this season, barely above 500. But Denver is in the Western Conference, so they might just end up being, if they don't start playing well, they're going to be the 7th or 8th seed, have to play Lakers or Clippers, one of which they're capable of beating, the Clippers. So we'll see. They're really struggling. Jokic, no problem, number one guy in fantasy, 43 points. There's really not much to talk about. This Denver team, last year they used to be very deep, right? The older guys on this team, they're just more washed, a year older, and a couple of young guys left, like Malik Beasley, who's been balling on the Timberwolves, and Jeremy Grant also. They got some really nice young players that left. Jokic so has to carry the load basically, and nothing much to talk about. Going to be a number one guy, maybe just moving forward rest of the season. Jamaa Murray had a great game. Good to see him get 3 steals. But the big thing with Jamaa Murray is he's a guard. He's like a Devin Booker with less volume, right? He's ranked 83rd in 9 category leagues after this game. The 4.5 assists is really, really low, considering they don't really have another guy on Denver. But I guess everything goes through Jokic. 1.1 steals is also low for a point guard. But Jamaa Murray, I think other than last year, he was never a big steals guy. So maybe he just stayed there at 1 steal. But I think he does have room to improve. The 19 points, maybe he can move up to 20, 21. They really need his scoring. I don't know what's going on. With all the guys leaving Denver, he should get a huge usage boost, in my opinion. Should be averaging 23, 24 points. 81% free throw, that should also go up. So he has room to grow, but I just don't know if he could be a top 40 guy. Because not enough assists, not enough steals. The end volume is not there. Let's talk about Michael Porter Jr. It's 24 minutes here. You gotta buy low. You still gotta buy low. He is ranked, after this game, oh boy, 51st ranked player. He has the opportunity. He's starting, only played 24 minutes because he's horrible, 0 for 8 from the field. Right? When you play that horribly, you're not gonna get 30 or 35 minutes. I still think he's gonna turn it around at some point. We just don't know when. This Denver team, he has the opportunity. All the usage is up. He's playing great defense, blocking 1.2 shot per game and 1 steal. I think both can be above 1, and he hits like 2 threes. No turnover, great efficiency. That's just recipe for a great fantasy player. But he's got to figure it out at some point. Buy low, I would buy like a top 90 guy. Like, I like to use guys that are currently performing, but gonna fall off maybe in a month or so. But a month of production is really valuable for some teams, right? Mason Plumlee, I look at that, right? I would do the trade. Norman Powell, OG did come back yesterday. I would do that trade. I would do Thaddeus Young. Yeah, he still got 30 minutes last night. Interestingly, you can try to do Andre Drummond for Michael Porter Jr. Is that a buy low? Sorry, that's buy low for buy low. And yeah, I would rather much just hold on to Michael Porter Jr. Sorry, honestly, I would buy low, but Drummond does have higher upside. If you look at it, forget about his free throws. They give you very different categories. Yeah, still a buy low. If this guy does have offer like top 20, top 25 upside. If he can give you 18 points, 2.5 threes, over a steal, over a block, no turnover, good efficiency, that's top 20, 25 player. So keep an eye on him. Try to buy low, to be honest. After like another bad game or two, I think Michael Porter Jr., some owners, they might just ready to drop him. Right? That's when you go and just offer anybody. They might take it. Jermichael Green started, not into this Denver team. Also, Garrett Harris is out. So just a lot of usage opening around. This is the European point guard Campazzo. I don't know if you pronounce it right. If he's starting play 40 minutes, yes, you want to take a look at him. 8 assists here. He's another guy that can help Jokic run the offense a little bit. So Jamaa Murray basically becomes a shooting guard. Can put up the stat because the steals. the assist that he offers. Take a look at him. You know, if he continues to start, because Monty Morris is out, he can't give you good assists in the short term. Boston Celtics a good win, really good win. Jason Tatum continued to struggle. Might be a good buy low for Jason Tatum, honestly. He's been shooting the ball really, really poorly, and currently he's ranked 23rd, shooting 44% from the field. The other stat look okay, but I expect him to average close to 28, 29 points. He has had a bad shooting week. That's why you go in there and you buy low. I think he's better. He should be better than Zach LaVine. So I'll be very comfortable making that trade. You know, I think he's Drew Holiday is out. You know, I think Zach LaVine may be the only one that would make sense. The owner might click the accept button if he thinks that Zach LaVine is going to be a 50% shooter. Right? Maybe the owner is tired of the bad efficiency, bad field goal, and then the owner looks at Zach LaVine 52%. Wow, which is not going to continue this year. Right? You could also try to throw in two guys for Jason Tatum, like a top 50 guy and like a top 80 guy who's been overperforming. You can also try that. Tristan Thompson, in the short term, yes, because I think Daniel Theis is out. Actually, it's a back-to-back, so he rested. So again, either way, Tristan Thompson really only give you rebound. He did exactly that and nothing else. Semi Ojeleye getting huge minutes every single game, not doing much. This guy's defensive upside is low, and when that happens, low usage, no assists, no, yeah, just not interested. Jaylen Brown, 7 turnovers. Again, 11 for 20 from the field. No steals and no blocks. It's a lottery with Jaylen Brown. I mean, he's gonna give you 25 points, but like some nights he give you 0 assists. Some nights he give you 3 steals and 2 blocks. Some nights he give you no defensive stats, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. So it's interesting. He is already falling to 37 because he's got some, you know, other than points. And I mean, for the season, I mean, threes is good, and the field goal 52%. He doesn't really have that one category that really stands out. So 40, that's around the area that I would expect Jaylen Brown to be at. If the free throw falls off, he might be outside of 50. But 40, I think he should be a top 40 guy, in my opinion. But he was never going to be like a top 20 guy like he was beginning of the season. Right? I think we all know that. Campbell Walker, 5 for 13 again. This is what Campbell is going to give you. It looks good. Points, some assists. You know, he can occasionally explode for 30 points, but I'm not too high on Campbell, honestly. The man doesn't give you a lot of assists as a point guard, and he doesn't give you a lot of steals. Mainly just points and threes. So if you got someone in your league that overvalue points and threes, you know, try to trade for him. Right? He is ranked. He's ranked 135th. I would, try to trade a guy that people undervalue, like a Robert Covington, right? Who give you almost no points but steals and blocks, huge volume in category leagues. I would try to make that trade because Campbell, perfect, big name, good scoring especially, but bad efficiency, pretty much everything else, maybe some threes. So that's just a perfect trade. And Campbell is too good to drop ever, right? So I would make that trade. Like I would trade him for Lonzo Ball. I would trade him for even, I don't know, depending on what you need. Guys like Delon Wright, just undervalued guys in category. Try to make that trade. I just don't think he's going to be good this season. Can give you 17, 18 points, sure, but nothing else, honestly. Offers nothing else. Robert Williams, whenever this guy gets minutes, he produces. I actually filled up the stat sheet. 5 steals. Jesus Christ. No blocks. You know, if either Tristan Thompson or what's his name get hurt, you gotta grab him for streaming. I think his permanent upside is probably better than Nerlens Noel's. But I just don't think if he played 30 minutes, can he give you the same defensive stats? Or even with everybody out, is he gonna ever play 30 minutes on the Celtics? We don't know. Peyton Pritchard, yeah, people getting some role players. Peyton Pritchard, 23 minutes, got 7 assists here, but too many guys in front of him. Not interested. Let's move on to the next game. The New Orleans Pelicans beating the Grizzlies. Brandon Ingram filled up the stat sheet. That's what you want to see. The scoring is fine. The efficiency is good. But the 7 assists is good. 2 steals, a block, 4 rebounds. Really, really good stuff. I think Ingram, if he can up his steal numbers, he could be a top 35, top 30 guy, in my opinion. He's averaging 0.6 steals for the season and already ranked like top 40. Brandon, oh wow. He's already ranked 29th. While averaging 0.7 steals. If he can get this up to 1, he can be a top 25 guy. Right? Good stuff. Good stuff on him. Zion Williamson, another great game. 31 points. Wow, Zion has playing so well lately. And I understand because the free throw, such a negative impact. He's still ranked 45th without the bad free throw going on. Wow. I think forget about the free throw. He's like a top 10, top 15 guy already. 4 from the free throw. It's 31 points. His only weakness is his free throw, basically. He give you some assist 3 for a guy like that. It's good. 61%. And I think in college he averaged like 1.5 steals and 1.5 blocks. If he can do that, and obviously when you draft him, you got to pound free throw. But other than that, everything looks so great. No threes, obviously. 25 points, averaging. Really, really good stuff on Zion. And they are currently ranked, the New Orleans Pelicans. They are 12 and 15. There's still a chance they can make the playoffs. There's some stuff going on with their guards. They want to make a trade for Lonzo, either Lonzo Ball or Eric Bledsoe. So once that settles in, maybe they can make a push for the playoffs. Steven Adams, you only should stream him at this point. But in 24 and 5 minutes, he give you 3 steals and 2 blocks. Maybe hold on to him for another game or 2 after this performance. Eric Bledsoe is a drop here. 23 minutes. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. 22 minutes, he give you 5 assists and 2 steals. It seems like everybody, this Grizzly team just turned the ball over like crazy this game. 14 steals and 14 blocks. But if he's going to play 23 minutes, what are you going to do with him? Right? The steals are never coming back this season, in my opinion. And he was a +3, while Lonzo Ball was a +30. Lonzo Ball, great game. He's picked it up. 5 assists, 2 steals. The assist number is low for Lonzo. I think he can improve in that area, but it seems that everybody's eating on this team. So maybe his assist number will not be high. But as long as he shoots threes, gets steals, gets some assists and blocks, he's good, still good in fantasy. Interestingly, Mikhail Walker is out of the rotation basically 3 minutes, and Kira Lewis Jr. played 23. So instead of streaming Mikhail Walker for some steals, Kira Lewis Jr. in 22 minutes, he's a pretty good assist and steals guy. If one of those guys get traded, him and Alexander Walker is worth the look. Josh Hart also went off. 9 rebounds. You really get him for rebound, but 27 points is his minutes is pretty consistent, so you can definitely stream him for rebound. And on the Grizzlies side, Dillon Brooks, if he's gonna shoot 50% from the field, you roster him. No problem. He's on in a groove right now. You roster him. Kyle Anderson, you also roster him. All those guys have some short-term value. I think when JJ comes back, they're all gonna lose some value. Valanciunas, bad game this game. 10 and 5, nothing else. He should be better. Grayson Allen is worth a look. He get 30 minutes pretty consistently, and it's a blowout. I forgot. So all those guys' minutes are quite low. Grayson Allen as well. He was getting 30 minutes plus, so he's worth a look. But the upside is pretty low. But the consistent minute is always nice. Jamaa Murray went off, but his team lost big. 28 points, 8 assists, and I just don't know Ja will be like a top 30 guy even. His assist is good, and nothing else, honestly. And a pretty good field goal guy for a point guard, but that's it. Not that high scoring, not a lot of defensive stats. And the Grizzlies guys, all those guys are good fantasy guys if given the minutes. Brandon Clark, is he a drop? Sometimes you play 30 minutes, if you don't drop him yet. Right, but JD, he came back from the COVID protocol. Only played 60 minutes. His minutes gonna be up and down. This Grizzly team is just so hard. Xavier Tillman, if given 30 minutes, he can be good. but not 20 minutes. Tyus Jones, yes. If he keep given 30 minutes, give you all the steals and assists. In 17 minutes, he got you 3 steals and 2 assists. Sorry, two steals and 3 assists. But just not enough minutes. This Grizzly team is very, very interesting. Let's go on the next game. The Raptors beating the Milwaukee Bucks. Wow. The big news here is Kyle Laurie left the game with an ankle injury. That's what I worry about Laurie. He's old. He's playing 38 minutes. And the way he plays, right, he's a pretty beefy dude, likes to go into the paint. I mean, he's a short guy, sure. But he's not a shy away. He does not shy away from contact. So he left the game. Before he left, he was putting in huge stats. Right? But, you know, I think guys in the league, everybody pretty much knows if you're going to try to sell him, he's old. The upside, you know, he doesn't really have that much upside, to be honest. He's where he is. So it'll be hard to trade a guy like that. And he give you really consistent production. We don't know. He might be out for a week. We don't know. Fred VanVleet, 30 minutes. Yeah, in the short term, VanVleet should get more minutes. Sorry, more. The minutes is already high for VanVleet. More assists and more usage. 4 for 6 from the free throw line is bad, but 30, yeah, great game. 2 steals, great stuff. Siakam, the big problem with him this year is the efficiency. If he can go up to a 50% field goal guy, he can be a top 30 guy, maybe even higher. I don't know, more points even. His bad efficiency, 13 points. Filled up the stat sheet, 6 assists is also nice, a steal. OG came back, so that's the big news here. OG came back, and Norman Powell still played 34 minutes. You know, because Kyle Laurie got hurt. I still have, so it's interesting. OG comes back. I thought Norman Powell gonna lose some minutes here and there, but Kyle Laurie gets hurt, and Norman Powell continues. But you can see with OG coming back, Norman Powell only took 7 shots. I don't know why this game, but he still have really good value. I still would try to trade him for some underperforming. I would trade him for Michael Porter Jr. I wouldn't think twice. Plus 19, you know, playing really well. You know, fantasy aside, he's been playing pretty well. And Chris Boucher also got 30 minutes versus this Milwaukee Bucks team. I think back, you know, a couple weeks ago they played Milwaukee and he didn't play any minutes. So maybe sometimes it's not entirely matchup based. It's just what Nick Nurse wants to do, right? 30 minutes here, 5 block shots here. Top 40, top 50 guy for the rest of the season. There will be games he played 20 minutes and give you nothing. Yes. I mean, that's even true for a guy like Miles Turner last year. Right? Those block guys, majority of the value is from blocks. If no blocks, no value. But he's too good. 30 minutes here. Such a good blocks guy. You hold on to him and everybody else. On the Raptors, outside these 6 guys, nobody has any value. On the Bucks side, Chris Middleton only took 8 shots this game, interestingly, and no assists. I'm not sure what happened. 5 turnovers, really struggled. The Raptors defense really shut him down. I guess he became the focal point, right? Because he was the guy that's going to give you assists and stuff like that, run the offense. 2 steals and that, just a bad game. Antetokounmpo continues. That's what I'm talking about, the steals and the blocks coming back. And that's how Giannis can be a top 3 guy. Forget about the free throws, of course. But I feel that's really good stuff from Giannis. And this season, you know, all the guys on the Bucks finally played them 35 plus minutes, right? Because the coach being criticized so much, and it's crazy. All of a sudden, the narrative is the bad coach, Budenholzer, now playing the guys high minutes. As soon as the media pointed that out, the next season, Giannis been playing 30 plus minutes, 35 plus minutes. Is the coach really listening to the media? I don't know. He's been doing it for the years, playing guys, 33 minutes. Giannis, 30 minutes. And I'm not sure if because this team is no longer that deep. I'm not sure. Lopez played 30 minutes, no blocks, and it's hard to hold on to him when he give you no blocks, but you still hold. Dante DiVincenzo, no steal, it's hard to hold him. But because Jrue Holiday is out, you can roster him for other stats, right? He give you 8 assists here. He does have some good value with Jrue Holiday out. We don't know when that will be. And Bobby Portis is playing so well this season. Again, 7 for 11. 7-11. 16 points, good field goal, good points, and some rebound. And even the steal numbers has been high. He's averaging 1 steal for power forward. And for him, that's really good. and not interesting in anybody else. Brain Forbes can get 35 minutes. I'm still not interested. Just only three threes. The next game is the Lakers and Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, let's talk about the Timberwolves a little bit. The big news here is D'Lo is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. If you don't have an IR spot here, you don't worry. You drop him, you don't look back, because 4 to 6, the Timberwolves, they say 4 to 6 weeks. I don't really see a reason why they want to rush him back. So 6 weeks, and he's got to ramp up. So the first week is not gonna be that useful. So that's already fantasy playoffs. If your team is struggling, you gotta drop it. You gotta move on from him. And the upside he's offering really is the points. He does give you nice guard stats when healthy, and even when he does come back, we don't know if he's gonna be healthy. And they got a bunch of young guys they want to develop. Anthony Edwards. But actually, let's talk about Timberwolves first. So with this news, Ricky Rubio, obviously a must roster. He get 30 minutes a night, give you really good assists and really good steals. I think Malik Beasley's, in the short term, right, the value also goes up. So we also gotta grab Anthony Edwards. The defensive stat, he putting it together. The defensive stats is also here. He can block shots as a guard, right? He can give you, that's valuable. 28 points, yeah. He's gonna fire away. We know he's gonna be bad in efficiency. All three actually. Bad field goal, bad free throw, and maybe a lot of turnovers. But the volume stats is there, so you gotta grab him. Right? Jared Vanderbilt played 30 minutes. I'm not, he's worth taking a look, but it has nothing to do with D'Lo, right? And for streaming purposes, you can also pick up guys like Jordan McLaughlin. He's really good assist and steals guy, and given 20-25 minutes, he can give you that. It's hard to find assist guys on the waiver wire, so that just opens up. And for this game, Anthony Edwards played really, really well, and Vanderbilt played 30 minutes. If he played 30 minutes, he's worth taking a look. Karl Anthony Towns, 15 points, playing this Lakers team, although AD did not play. He only took 10 shots. I don't know why. Gotta get him more touches on offense. 6 rebounds is also pretty bad. A bad game from Cat, for his standard. Malik Beasley, with D'Lo out, I mean, he's already playing pretty well. So, his value go up a little bit with D'Lo out, but not that much, because he's already has such high usage. A bad game here versus the Lakers. Ricky Rubio, great game, 8 assists. And Naz Reid, you can definitely drop guys like Naz Reid and Josh Okogie. And coach finally figured out, hey, maybe we want to switch it up, right? We're not gonna start Josh Okogie every single game. All those guys are drops. And now the Lakers have, with AD out, for reevaluating 2-3 weeks. It's really probably 4 weeks. Reevaluate meaning they're gonna take another look at him in 2-3 weeks. There's a chance they're gonna reevaluate him in 2-3 weeks, and then reevaluate him in 2-3 weeks again, right? That's what happened with Kyrie Irving last year with his shoulder injury. They say, okay, we're gonna reevaluate him in a month, and after a month, they say, okay, we're gonna reevaluate him again in another month. So 2-3 weeks is the bare minimum. It sucks for AD, and if you have an IR spot and you're doing great in your league, you can try trade for him. Maybe a top 20, 30 guy, to be honest, if the owner bites. LeBron James, LeBron James is usually going to go way higher with AD out. He's got to take the low. 30 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, sure. Kyle Kuzma is worth a pickup, in my opinion. Without AD, he can get maybe up to 30 minutes. And Marc Gasol also got high minutes. If those guys get 30 minutes, it's worth a look. Kyle Kuzma can give you good rebounding and good points. And Marc Gasol can really fill up the stat sheet. Many blocks, pretty good blocks guy. So we're taking a look in the short term. KCP, not interested. Dennis Schroeder had one of his best games. Yeah, he's also maybe worth a pickup with AD gone. The usage, he does it. The volume stats will be there if AD is going to be out for a long period of time. Montrezl Harrell, 18 minutes, filled up the stat sheet with AD. So all those guys in the short term, you got to pick them. Although Montrezl Harrell only played 18 minutes with AD out, so that's not good. But just insane efficiency this game, and give you some steals and blocks. Let's move on to the next game. The Portland Trailblazers beating the OKC. Yeah, that's no surprise there. Robert Covington, 6 blocks. Oh boy, he can really pop off like this, right? He is ranked, where is Robert? 69th already. Wow. averaging 1.6 steals and 0.8 blocks. I think his blocks he can be a one block guy, to be honest. The scoring is so bad. If he can start shooting the ball just a little bit better, he'll be a top 60 guy, top 50 guy. Really, really good stuff from him. And he even got you 9 rebounds and 5 assists this game. Kanter had a rough game shooting the ball, but and bad from the free throw line. But 21 rebounds. In the short term, he has really, really good value. But just remember, in a month or so, when Nurkic eventually comes back, he's gonna lose some value. But we don't know. Nurkic may not be back for another 2 months. We don't know. Damian Lillard, another great game. 31 points, not much to talk about, just great. Gary Trent Jr., 19 points. The minutes is there, the volume is there. He's mainly going to hit some 3 and points, and he's worth streaming for sure. Derrick Jones Jr. only for defensive stats. And Melo, another sub 40% shooting. That's no surprise. 1 steal and 1 block at this point from Melo, that's no surprise either. He's really picked it up in defensive stats. He's worth streaming as well. And on the OKC side, Shea is still out. We don't know when he's going to be back, to be honest. So I think guys like Darius Bazley, the efficiency is rough, I understand. But a steal and a block, 6 rebounds and 6 assists. 6 assists. Yeah, go grab him and hold on to him. The efficiency is going to be rough. But he does offer some nice upside in my opinion. Al Horford 30 minutes here, Al Horford numbers. Kendrick Williams started, only played 20 minutes, had 4 personal fouls. He definitely does have some good value with everybody out. Because he got 4 fouls here, only 20 minutes. If he plays 30 minutes, you got to roster him. Theo Maledon came back. He's mainly a point guard, can give you some assists and steals. So if you want those, you can grab him. But the upside, I don't know. He had a 6 steal game. But for most nights, I don't know how much value does he really offers. Not that much, honestly. Lou Dort, 36 minutes. Not interested in him. He's a good defender, but don't really give you the defensive stats in fantasy. And Hamidou Diallo, you want to stream him in the short term as well. In 30 minutes, he put up big stats, right? And Isaiah Rubio also played 24. Yeah, this guy put up good stats whenever he gets minutes. So keep an eye on him. If Horford start losing minutes toward the end, you grab this guy. OKC is a team just like Detroit. A lot of young guys gonna get opportunities once we get to the second half of the season. So you gotta keep your eyes on those teams. The last game of the night is Brooklyn. What a game! Nets beating the Phoenix Suns. I think at some point Nets were down 24 points, and they had a comeback led by James Harden. So this is the James Harden we used to know, right? Without KD and Harden, 38 points. This year the steal numbers has been quite low, to be honest. 1 steal here, he's been averaging 1 steal. If he can push that up to 1.6, 1.7, he'll be a top 3 guy again, maybe top 2. 38 points, only 2 turnovers. That's also nice. Fill up the stat sheet basically. Just the steals is low. The defensive stats are like everything else is so great. Not much to talk about. With KD and Kyrie out, and we know Kyrie's gonna sit out some back-to-backs. Very pretty injury-prone guy. Tyler Johnson played 32 minutes, not interested. When those guys come back. DeAndre Jordan is worth streaming for sure. Played 28 minutes here, 6 rebounds and a block. While Joe Harris, really, look at this line. 1 steal is nice, obviously, but really just the points and threes. He does it in very, very high efficiency. That's another great thing. Bruce Brown, 26 minutes, a steal and a block. All those guys, I think you can find better talent off the waiver wire, unless they have a back-to-back. I wouldn't stream like a Bruce Brown. Joe Harris, I can roster him for 3 and efficiency, but nothing else. Jeff Green played 24 minutes, also a pretty good night from him. Only 24 minutes. The efficiency is really nice, 18 and 8. Worth streaming. They have a back-to-back. They did have a back-to-back Monday and Tuesday, but now is the time to drop Jeff Green. Now is the time to drop Bruce Brown, right? Joe Harris maybe rostering, but nobody else on this Nets team. And on the Phoenix Suns side, wow, Mikhail Bridges got you a steal. I still want to see higher steal numbers from this guy. He is ranked 58th, still averaging 0.6 steals. Come on, man. If he can give you 1.5, he'll be a top 35 guy, top 40 guy in fantasy in 9 category leagues. Doesn't turn the ball over, great efficiency. His threes, just maybe low assist. but also very, very low turnovers as well. So good game for him. You know, if he can average this every single game, I'll be happy, to be honest with you. Obviously, the score is a bit low. But if he can give me 14 points a game, a bit over a steal or block, I'll be happy. Really, really good stuff for him. And efficient. No turnover. Jay Crowder, he's been playing quite well. Maybe it's worth a look at him. Because they kept starting Kaminsky. And now Kaminsky didn't play. Jay Crowder should get opportunity, but he's going to be up and down, and the efficiency could be rough. He has some value in the short term, I think. He's been playing really, really well lately. So you can take a look at him. Deandre Hayton, 16 points. Yeah, disappointment this season. Not much to talk about. Just disappointment after disappointment. I mean, at this point, it's really not disappointing. Just, okay, another Deandre Hayton game. And I don't know how far he's going to fall off the next year's draft. We don't know how far he's going to fall. Maybe top 70, 80. Devin Booker, a great game. And good to see him getting 7 assists. But I just don't know if the assist number is going to stick, because Chris Paul is going to take away a lot of the playmaking. Regardless, great game. Good efficiency this year as well. But he's not even going to be close to a top 15 player on a per game basis. Not even close. Chris Paul, 29 points. I think Chris Paul is maybe a sell high. He's not going to be. He's been really aggressive lately, right? And we know this about Chris Paul. He's like a top 25 guy every single season. Every single season in his career. The steal numbers are coming back. Really good stuff. I would still try to sell this guy, because with all the injury risks, if I can get a top 20 guy back, I would. And nobody else is doing anything. That's it for all the games. Have a good one, guys.